Hello, everybody. You are not going to even believe what I just did. I have already filmed most of this block today, and I never hit record. I was at the sewing machine, and luckily I only stitched like one little bit, and I was like, oh, I never hit record. So here we are. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Lisa with Lisa Capen Quilts. I feel like this is deja vu because I've already said all of this before. You just weren't here. Hi, everybody. Today we're doing the Dresden Wreath applique. And this is going to be so much fun. One of the things that I love about today's applique is that it kind of looks like a traditional Dresden Plate block, right? Except we're doing it with a twist. It's all raw edge applique, so it's going to be a lot easier than what it looks. And so, yeah, grab your templates while they're free. The tracing templates, the PDF for today's applique is going to be free through Thursday, November the 9th. Okay, as of Friday, November the 10th, they are going to be combined with the cutting files that's already over on Etsy. So open up the description box. If you see the little word that says more underneath of the title, click on that. The box opens, there's all of your links, okay? And even if you can't print this right now, you can always save it and print it down the road when you're ready to do that, right? So yeah, the Dresden Plate. Oh, I'm so excited. One of the cool things about this is I'm using Christmas fabrics today. But you could switch up the colors of your fabric, the theme of the print of fabric you're using. You could make it Easter, a birthday wreath. You could do fall colors. You could do Mother's Day, Father's Day, all kinds of stuff, right? Just a pretty floral one. All kinds of stuff. Hearts for Valentine's Day. So it's very versatile applique pattern, and I hope you get it. Next week. Oh, no, let me back up. If you took this block, today I'm just doing one little quilt block, right? But if you took this block and you made it 4 times and you put it together something like this, you could make a table topper with this block, right? With a fancy schmancy quilt border around it, or just a regular plain solid border. Would be just as pretty, right? But repeated 4 times, you kind of get an idea of what the table topper would look like, right? Isn't that so pretty? All right, and if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you do that. Next week, we are doing, by popular demand, the male part of Sunbonnet Sue. We're doing a Harvest Sunbonnet Sam. And so this is the block for next week, or the applique pattern, right? He's been out to the pumpkin patch, he's picked himself a pumpkin, and he's on his way home, right? Isn't he just adorable? He's got a little patch on his blue jean overalls. I think he's so cute, and I will probably stitch him on the other orange towel that I have, right? And so I'll have a him and her hand towels. I can hardly wait. So this is what we're doing next week. Underneath of the title of this video, there's a button that says share. If you click on that, it gives you an option to share on your Facebook or your Instagrams and stuff like that. You might want to do that because if you have friends who love doing applique, that would be an easy way for them to see, you know, look, here's this cute pattern. Come get it while it's free. Maybe we can have a sewing day together and make them, right? Okay. And one more thing before we get started. Again, I have said all this one other time. I'm getting a second chance though, because in the first time I did all this, I was so scatterbrained. So I'm hoping I'm more focused this time. But hopefully this weekend, you're going to see a video. Many of you have asked about a chicken update, right? And let me just tell you something real quick. This is going to be a little bit of talking before we get started today. We have chickens. Many of you have asked about a chicken update, and I haven't talked about them, maybe not that much in the last couple of videos. I wasn't really excited to get the chickens. The chickens were Harlan's thing. He really wanted them. But from the time he got the chickens, how can you not help but fall in love with the little chickens, right? And so they're growing, right? And we've added to our flock of chickens here and there. And now we have, I think it's 13 chickens altogether, 2 roosters and the rest are hens, right? But how can you not fall in love with them? They're a mess. They're so messy and they're a lot of work. They're actually quite expensive, right? Feeding and runs and building chicken coops. But we just love them. We just love them. Anyway, this weekend, you're going to see a video posted update. And my chickens have inspired this project that I'm working on the video for. So let me just pull that up on the screen. Isn't that cute? It's a chicken mug rug or a chicken trivet, depending on how many layers of batting you use, or if you use Insulbrite. Isn't she so pretty? I feel like I have to go like this. I'm hiding behind her. Wouldn't it be adorable if you did several different chickens, different colors of fabric, right? And you had them on your table, like at Thanksgiving, right? And you could put your pots and whatnot on them. Stay tuned. The pattern is done, but I am working on the tutorial in my spare time. Okay, that was a lot of talking, and I know, there might be 1 or 2 of you out there who are tempted to jump down in the comment section and say, too much talking. You really don't have to, I know. It is a lot of talking. I know. All right, let's come over to the pressing board because I want to show you something. We usually go through the whole process of pressing all of these pieces together. And I wish it wasn't so late in the day because I would just cut more pieces and go through the whole process with you. This is your page of tracing templates. Hold on one second, y'all. My daughter is giving me a call. Okay, sorry about that. I saw her number come up on my phone and I want to make sure everything was okay. All right, there's one page with tracing templates, right? And so for your circle shape, you're only going to cut 1 of these. For your big blade, you're going to cut 8. And for your small blade, you're going to cut 8. And the templates have been mirror image, but it really doesn't matter with this particular applique pattern because it's the same shape, no matter which side you trace it from. And so yeah, there's your tracing templates. Here is your placement guide, and you'll see I've already cut mine and glued it together. And I cut all of my pieces with my ScannCut, and it was awesome. It cut them out really quickly. My circle is a perfect circle. There's no way I'd be able to cut that perfect circle with my hands. And so, yeah, I cut my pieces out with my ScannCut. So they're already fused on the fabric. I'm going to show you here in a second. I wanted to talk about the placement, though, even though I'm not going to do that part with you in today's video. And the first one that I didn't record, we fused all these pieces together. But you're going to notice that the big blade is numbered 1 and the small blade is numbered 2, right? And then the circle is number 3. I laid my bigger blades, blade number 1, down first, right? And then pre-fused all those together because they do sort of overlap each other along the way, especially right here in the middle. So once I had all of my number 1s down first, I pre-fused that with my iron, just a little bit of heat. And then I layered all of my number 2 pieces. And when you have all of your 1s in place, all that you're going to see is just the tip curve of blade number 2, and that's enough to give you the placement for blade number 2, right? So then I pre-fused all of those and bonded them, and then I put the circle in the middle. The circle, you're just gonna be eyeballing it, because by the time you have all your blades in place, you cover up that little circle placement guide. Now, what I wanted to talk about was you could lay down your piece number 2, all of those blades first, and then your bigger blades over top. It would still give you the same basic shape as what I'm gonna do today. It's just your placement would look a little bit different, right? It would still be really cute and fun. So there isn't a set rule, which blades do you put down first. I put my bigger blades down first, okay? And then I wanted to say, because several people have asked, what could you do if you wanted to pre-fuse all of your pieces, your applique pieces, and make it one applique, but you didn't have one of these mats? Just to let you know, this is not any kind of special mat. They do have special applique mats. I have one. It's got a really pretty purple border on it. It's a little bit bigger than this. And the inside is brighter and whiter, right? But this is just a baking silicone mat from, well, I got mine on Amazon, and there's a link down in the description box. You get 2 for like $10. But you could go to Dollar General, Family Dollar, Walmart, Targets, any of the stores like that in the baking section, and it's just the same kind of mat that you would bake cookies on. That's all it is. But if you can't make it to the store and you have some parchment paper, you could do the same thing with a piece of parchment paper, right? That's what you could do. All right, so I'm very sorry you missed out on fusing all the pieces together and putting it on the fabric block. But here we go. I contemplated, you're gonna see, I stitched that right there, and I was at the sewing machine. I was like, you know what? I never hit record. And then I sat there 10 minutes contemplating, do I want to cut all these pieces out again? Do I want to starch and press another piece of fabric? No, I think y'all will forgive me if we just start right here. I think y'all get it, right? Today has been a very scatterbrained day for me. I am in the process of making some bread, and I'm new to bread making. This is only the 4th loaf I've ever made, but I've been preoccupied, and bread has been on my mind today. Okay, so this is just a piece of tea-stained muslin, right? And when I say tea-stained muslin, y'all, I didn't dye this muslin myself with tea, although I love to do that. At Joann Fabrics, in the muslin section, they have some, and if you'll see, there's some that's darker than the rest of it, right? And if you pull it up and you look at the end of the bolt, it'll say tea-stained muslin. That's all this is. So yeah, that's what this is. It has been starched and pressed. I used my 12.5-inch ruler just to mark a placement of where my block is going to be, right? I eyeballed the center and I fused my Dresden right in there. See that? It's a little bit dark today. So that's everything that you missed. Okay? Y'all get it by now. Y'all have seen me fuse down hundreds of pieces in these applique videos already. So, yeah, I think we're ready to start stitching. Now, today I have chosen to do a zigzag stitch because I really feel like it needs like a good little border around these pieces because of the colors that I've chosen. And it looks way darker on the screen than it actually is in person. But even in person, I feel like I need like an outline on these pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's come on over to the sewing machine. I feel like I I had a whole conversation about something that I wanted to tell you the first time I did this, and now I'm forgetting what it was. Okay, so let's come over to the sewing machine. And I'm gonna have to fix that, right? Hold on a second. Okay, that is way better. All right, so the first time I went through and I picked a stitch. So let me find, here we go. This is the zigzag stitch that I'm using. It's quite a bit wider than what I usually use, right? My stitch settings for this zigzag stitch is 3.6 on the length and back up, 3.6 on the width and 0.8 on the length. Okay, and y'all know me, I usually like to start on the applique pieces that are on the bottom. That bottom blade though, the way that I've layered my pieces, the only part that's sticking out is this outer curve. And so that's what I'm going to stitch first. I'm going to stitch each one of these curvy bits first, and then I'm going to come back and stitch all of blade number 2, right, the smaller blade, starting at the edge of the circle and stitching all the way around and stopping at the circle. And then I will stitch the center circle and all of my pieces will be stitched, right? So I had started stitching and I stitched this, and right here is when I realized that I was not recording. So we're picking back up and we're gonna start stitching each one of the outer edges of blade number 1. Okay, so here we are, and I really like the sides of this zigzag stitch today. I'm just gonna go through and cut all of these little threads. Just so you know, my machine ties a knot at the beginning and at the end of each one of these stitches when I use the thread cutter of my machine. If your machine does not do that, you will probably want to do a back stitch at the start and at the stop each time you do each one of your little scallops, right? All right, so now I'm going to stitch the smaller blades, and I'm going to use that same zigzag stitch, the 3.6 width and the 0.8 with the length. Sorry, we have to stop right here. Don't you think that fabric kind of looks like pickle skin now? It kind of looks like a pickle. Once I've seen that, I cannot unsee it. So at first, while the greens, the dark and the light green kind of just went with the greens that were in this Christmas fabric, now all I see is pickle. But you know, I don't know the backstory about it, but there's a pickle Christmas ornament. So it kind of works, right? Okay, so at this point, all of my blade number 2s, the smaller blades, are stitched down. I felt like I could be a NASCAR driver on the straightaways of the smaller blades, right? Because you're just going straight. It's the curvy sections that I always slow down and take my time with. But the straight part of the blades, it's like pedal to the metal. I'm just cutting all of these little jump stitches and cleaning this up. And at this point, all we have left to do now is stitch the very middle circle. There we go. I think she's pretty, although all I see now is pickles. I don't think that that fabric is intended to look like pickles, but to me, it sure does look like pickles. Actually, my daughters would love that because they're one of their favorite Christmas ornaments is the pickle ornament that we have, right? I think you're supposed to hide that on the tree and then whoever finds it gets good luck or something like that. I forget what the story is behind it. But there we go. Let me see if I can bring this light in a little bit better than that. That's a little bit better. There is our block. I'm going to just heat this iron up just a little bit. And I'm going to press this one more time. But let's take a look at the back. That's what she looks like from the back. This stitch was spaced out just enough that I didn't need to use a stabilizer. I feel like, because of how wide it is, had I gone just one more click, like instead of doing 0.8 for the length, if I did 0.7 or below, I would have needed a stabilizer underneath, probably like a tearaway, right? I feel like any closer together and I would have needed something to stabilize those stitches. But as it is, I just have a little bit of waviness. See that right there? That's not a lot, and I feel like when we press this, that's gonna go away, so it's perfect. And I wanted to share this one little idea with you before we go for today. The wreath is gorgeous by itself, right? But what if, because it's Christmas time, right? What if you took some red buttons and you placed some randomly in different places along your wreath, like this, right? Wouldn't that be just adorable? Not so much if you are going to plan to use this as a trivet or set anything on top of it, right? But if it was just decoration, wouldn't that be so cute? Now, since hand sewing all of the buttons onto the holly with the bells on my shirt a couple of videos back, I have been learning sewing buttons onto things using my sewing machine. Now, I'm not that confident yet enough to show you how to do that today. But I'm learning, and I feel like, you know, we're never too old to start learning stuff. But yeah, that would save a lot of time. If you wanted to put a whole bunch of buttons on this as berries, and you knew how to do that with your sewing machine, that's the way to go. But I wanted to share that idea with you just to give you a way that you could sort of dress this up a little bit more, right? So there we go. I hope you have fun with this. I hope that if you make this, you share pictures over on the Creative Crew. We have so many people following along in this applique series that are over on the Creative Crew, and they're sharing all of their blocks each week. It is so much fun to see the fabrics you're using, the little spins on the applique that you do. You know, you put your own creative thoughts and design into the applique, and I love seeing that. It certainly is a lot of fun. And I'm so sorry that you missed the placement of fusing these pieces down, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sunbonnet Sam next week. That should be a lot of fun. I feel like there's one more thing I wanted to say, and I know that as soon as I end today's video, I'm going to be, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It's not coming to me yet. Okay, everybody, stay warm. I saw, maybe this was it. I saw that some of y'all got some snow yesterday. Who got snow yesterday? I don't know that I'm ready for snow. It is cold in this room today. It is cold in here. I don't know that I'm really looking forward to the frigid winter parts. I want one good snowfall for the year, and that's it. Y'all stay safe if you got to be out driving in that stuff. Yeah, and in the meantime, I'll see you over on Facebook. Patreon members, if y'all haven't checked, go over to the Patreon page. The list of stuff to do that's coming up in November is up. I posted it yesterday, and we're changing the lineup of events just a little bit. We're doing Quilters Bingo one night. I can hardly wait. Like, I am so flippin' excited about Quilters Bingo. I got the cards ready. I've got a stack of projects for prizes. We're gonna have so much fun. And yeah, coming up is the color reveal for our mini quilt challenge. I felt like things were getting stale and I needed to just change up what we were doing. You know, change is good. Okay, everybody, I will see most of y'all next Friday for Sunbonnet Sam. Bye.